I can start now.
Whenever you want.
Are you ready? Are you ready? Are you ready?
I'm so ready.
Okay. So I'm going to tie my Rosenhopper. Now, a couple things. First of all, not my name. Not the name I gave it. I originally called it like a modified Chubby or something like that. But at the time, my boss at Orvis said, oh no, we got to call it the Rosenhopper. So we called it the Rosenhopper. And that's kind of a clever name, I guess, maybe a little too clever, but that's the name of the fly. And it is basically a modified Chubby Chernobyl. It's not anything earth-shaking. It's just that I made a number of modifications to the Chubby Chernobyl based on what I've seen and what I like. So, and as I go through, I'll talk about the modifications I made. So I'm starting with Fulling Mill 110 denier yellow thread. You could use yellow, tan, white, whatever. It's not going to show much. And start that in the middle of the shank, just to cover this shank. And then I come back. Again, you don't have to be too fancy because everything's going to get covered up. And I come back quite a bit on the bend. I like the curve on this bend. It gives it a little bit more realistic profile. And then I'm using Eco Rabbit dubbing in natural brown. I really like this. Dubbing. I often will use hare's ear on this fly. And the original one had hare's ear, but this Eco Rabbit looks a lot like hare's ear, and it's got a little sparkle to it. So I like it a lot. And then I will just dub a little bit of a butt on there just to start it out. And wind that from, almost to the bend up a little ways, about to there. And then what I like to do with foam, because it tends to roll, is I like to put the super glue on, some super glue on before, because I think when the foam rolls, it's actually the thread that's rolling underneath it, not the foam itself. So I'll put some super glue on there, and then I'll go back and forth a few times and really cinch that down. So that's gonna prevent the rolling issue. And then I've got a piece of Fulling Mill bug foam, 2mm in tan. And I don't like this to go too far back. I'll just put it on top of there and give it a couple of really good reefs to set it into that super glue. And then I'll just taper it on the end. I'm not too fussy about the taper, but I think it looks better with a little bit of a taper. And so, yeah, you can see that's not rolling very much. And then I will take some elk hair. Oh, I forgot my stacker. I knew I forgot something. All right. Take some elk hair. I think this is cow elk. Doesn't matter. You can use deer hair. The reason the rear wing on a Chubby Chernobyl is yarn, and it has two wings. And the reason I use elk hair instead of a rear wing out of yarn is because another great fly for prospecting, for fishing blind, or for hopper fishing is the stimulator. Stimulator is a great, highly visible fly. And so I put elk hair on the back end instead of yarn. It gives it, I don't know, a little bit more natural look, and it kind of helps hold that forward wing up a bit. And it just gives it a little bit different look. And I use a fair amount of elk hair. And I just cinch it down really well. And then I'll pull it forward a little bit to lock in all those hairs. And then trim that elk hair off. It's going to take you a few cuts to get it all so I think that helps in the flotation. It gives it a little lifelike action. And then I'll go back through the elk hair a little bit more and then trim it a little bit more. And then the Chubby Chernobyl has 2 legs in back that stick out, and the rear legs often cross the front legs, and I just don't like the looks of that. And so what I do is I put a doubled kind of hopper leg on there. So I'm taking a couple of these fulling mill micro-barred leg. These aren't the micro, actually. This is the standard size. And I'm going to put a knot in each end of these 2 pieces. So put a knot in one end and a knot in the other end. And so now I've got 2 legs. And then I trim them close, like the little claws on a hopper. You could make these red if you wanted. Some hoppers have red legs. Might be cool, but I just use a tan. And then I generally go to the far side first. And turn your vise a little bit so you can see it, and secure those legs against the side, like so. And then I will come to the near side, put another pair of legs on here. Certainly don't have to double these over. You could just put in a pair of legs there. And you could leave these if you want, but I think it's too much leg, so I cut them off. So that I just have 2 rear legs sticking back. And then I'll go over those a little bit to make sure that that they're covered mostly. Maybe trim a little bit. And then for neatness sake, I'll put some more dubbing over there. So I'm just going to dub a fairly thin noodle here to cover up the leg attachment and the elk hair. And then I'll put a fatter amount here, because I'm going to start the middle of the body with the same dubbing. So I'm going to roll over here. Try to cover up all your winds if you can. You know, if you want to be neat, and then you want to look at underneath to make sure that that you don't have anything sticking out. And then I'll come up against this foam and really press into there to get a little bulk built up. And then I'll dub some more. You want the body on this fly to be fairly fat. You know, hoppers and moths and stoneflies and things have fairly robust bodies, and that's what this doesn't just imitate a hopper, certainly. I use it small stream brook trout fishing where there aren't any hoppers and the fish eat it. So they, I don't know what they eat it for, a stonefly, a moth. It's kind of a general attractor pattern. I'm going to work that dubbing forward, and then I will, make sure everything's straight. Then I'll put another drop of super glue for the front end of the foam, and I will cover the shank with thread, get a nice tight base underneath there, and then bring the foam forward, just pinch it at the top, come over, cinch it down, look at it, make sure it's straight, make sure it's where you want it. And then some people wait till the end to cut the head off, but I like to cut it off now. And I like it right over the eye. I don't like too long of a head on this either. And then you can, trim off the sides if you want to make it look a little neater. Okay, so next I'm going to tie in my wing. And unlike another place I vary from the tying of the Chubby Chernobyl is that I don't like a white wing on it, because the white wing is just, I don't know, too stark. It just doesn't seem natural. And the fish do sometimes see the top of the fly. So I use gray, tan, brown. The gray is pretty visible. The gray and the tan are pretty visible. Brown's a little bit harder to see, but this fly is really easy to see. And I usually use three to four strands of this ultra dry yarn, which I love for flies like this. It really holds air and it moves and has a really, really good look on big dry flies like this. So I'll come in and notice I've got this really long. I'll fold this over. So not only does that give you a bigger wing profile, but it also is going to be a lot more secure instead of just tying in a piece of it. And then on that top thing, you want to try to scooch this forward and catch some of it. It took me a couple tries to do that. And now, now I've got a nice high wing. I trim it even with the bottom. And, I'll sometimes comb or brush this yarn together so it all kind of blends together. Because you do want this thing to stick up pretty good. That's your indicator. That's your visibility and your imitation of a wing. And then for the front legs, I use a smaller diameter micro barred legs. These are smaller than the rear legs. And I will start on the far side. Doesn't matter, the length doesn't matter at this point. Neither does the exact orientation. So you just get them in there. And then you form a loop in front and you catch that loop on the near side. And then then you can manipulate these legs so they stick out the way you want. And once you have them where you think they're pretty good, then you cinch down on them and trim the loop. And then I like to trim these now. Some people wait till later, but just kind of eyeball them so that they're roughly even. Again, doesn't matter that much. And then next, I will put a little cider on top of here. Sometimes these don't want to point forward, but that's okay. Again, it's just stuff sticking out the side that wiggles once it hits the water. Looks lifelike, makes it look like something alive. So I'll take just a little slip of same foam, 2mm foam. Cut a little piece and lay that right on top. Try to go between the legs when you do this and cinch that down. 3 good tight turns. And then I usually trim this. You don't need a big citer on there. So once I get it in there, I just trim it. It's for a little yellow tab there. And then basically a little more dubbing. See, I got these fibers sticking out of here. Get rid of them. Cheech would call these haters. But Cheech couldn't tie this fly. Too difficult for Cheech. And I will, again, do a kind of a thin dubbing noodle. And I'll make this kind of long because this is going to form the head too. And I can always add a little more if I want to build up the head a little bit. And then go through those legs. Sometimes this will help separate the legs a little bit more. Look at it on the bottom. Make sure you cover up your thread wraps. Not that the fish are going to care, but your fishing buddies will when they examine your flies. So you want to make sure that you got a fly that's pretty, that your fishing buddies will admire. And I need a little bit more dubbing on here for the head. That might be too much. We'll see. Once you tie a few of these, like any fly, you'll know how much dubbing to put on there without having to mess with it. And then I'll pull this back and get that right under that foam. Build up a little bit there, and then wind forward and whip finish. And your Rosenhopper is done. Nice and wiggly. A little drop of head cement or super glue or the adhesive of your choice, and you'll be all set. There it is.